Hi, it's Stuart Sutton. Hope your day and your real estate are going great. This has been a while, but I took my vehicle to a tire company in order to have a tire look like I thought I had a slow leak. They suggested that instead I probably should just replace all 4 tires. Didn't have enough tread to really do me much good much longer, and they suggested a set of tires. They were having a nice sale, of course. I thought about that. Didn't really think I'd had the tires as long as they indicated, so I took the car for a second opinion. And the second place I took it to said, your tires look great. You've got a ways to go on these tires. This is a simple patch. We'll have it done post-haste. Probably didn't say post-haste, but they said they'd have it done pretty quick. Why am I telling you about my tires? Well, because the same thing happens in home sales, and it happens more often than you can imagine. Let me show you what I mean. So I want to throw a few quick examples at you so you'll kind of know where this video is going. I think it's going to be apparent pretty quick. Had a client a while back who had a septic system. The inspector for the buyer, once it was under contract, recommended a septic expert look at it. So the buyer called a septic expert who came out, looked at it, and recommended replacement, about $30,000. So as a listing agent, I have access to experts as well. So we called the expert that I rely on for septics. He came out, looked at it. We didn't share any of the information with him. We don't want to put an anchor in front of him. And if you watch my other videos, you know what I mean. We wanted him to have a totally unbiased opinion. He said, the septic looks to be really in good shape. A few repairs and it'll be good to go. Repairs, $1,200. $30,000 versus $1,200. Now that's a pretty big discrepancy. Would the buyer think, well, the seller's just trying to get out for as little as they can? Well, that'd be fair for them to think that. So we had the buyer talk to our septic expert. They realized he really was an expert, knew what he was talking about. Let him make the repairs and everything moved forward. Had another situation where a house had 3 air conditioning systems. The inspector for the buyer said, hey, I would recommend an expert look at these. So the buyer's expert came out and looked at them and said, gosh, these 3 are on their last leg. Probably need to replace them all. That's about $18,000. Of course, I have an air conditioning expert as well. He came out and said, gosh, these seem to be in really nice working order. This small one probably needs a new coil. $800 versus $18,000. Buyer talked to him, was comfortable with his expertise, and moved forward. Had a buyer inspector recommend that the foundation be looked at by an expert. The buyer called a foundation company. They came out and said $14,000 and the foundation will be good to go. Of course, we follow that up by calling an engineer out. An engineer has a little bit more authority and education and, well, a little more credibility than a foundation company. The engineer said, nothing's needed. This foundation's in great shape. Don't even really know why you called me. Of course, he wanted to be paid anyway, but his opinion was nothing was needed. $14,000, $0. The buyer talked to him, understood his expertise, and moved forward. Now, why am I telling you all these stories? Because it's imperative that you have contacts who you trust, who you have history with. Quite sincerely, a small pet peeve of mine is agents who don't have those contacts, who use people that they don't know, or allow the buyers to use people who they don't know. We had one bid from someone who came off Angie's list. Nobody knew them. They had history or trust with no one. So if for any reason your agent doesn't have those contacts, you need to find them. It's easy for someone to say you need $30,000 worth of repairs because the seller may have $400,000 in equity. And to save the deal, they may spend that $30,000, but it's not necessary. It's like going to a tire company and them saying you need 4 new tires. When your tires aren't very old, you just need a patch on one of them. You could get 4 new tires, but it's just not necessary. Now, what spurred me on to make this video? Well, lots of things. I have history with electricians and plumbers and roofers and carpenters, countertops, cabinetry, sheetrock, everything. And there are very honest, diligent people who will do only what's fair. But then it seems like in every one of those industries, there's somebody who will just make as much money as they can. This happened to me personally. A home I was personally selling. My wife and I were selling a home. The buyer's inspector recommended that a chimney expert look at it. Certainly fine. The chimney expert came and looked at it and gave his bid. Seemed a little high to us. So we called our expert, whom we have history with, who we trust because they have done work for us and others that we know before and never tried to overcharge anybody. So he came over, did a complete assessment, gave me the bid, and it was $275. I asked him about some other things that were needed and said, hey, I don't want you to try to just save me money because I'm a past customer. I want to do what makes this chimney safe, what makes this fireplace safe and usable. And he said, I'm not sure I could charge you over $300. There's just nothing else that's needed. Well, the other fireplace company had a bid for $8,100. $8,100 versus $275. Be sure that you have trusted people that you have history with, or your agent is very confident they have history with. I've seen agents go, as I said before, on Angie's List, or send a report, an inspection report, to somebody and get a bid in writing who never goes to the house. You just can't let that type of thing happen. It's your money and you need to protect it. And if you don't have someone that you trust, contact me directly. I have the best of the best in virtually every industry you can imagine related to housing and inspections. So with that said, I did throw another video up here for you. This one goes through what you can do ahead of time to avoid problems like this with inspections and people who want to make a buck off of you. So watch that video. If you like this one, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. And remember, it is your choice, so make it a powerful day.